Hey, good morning, everybody. Things are not quiet this morning or last night. Obviously, big news. Trump and the other side announced a 2 week ceasefire based on negotiations and the way things have been going over the last week or so. So that has held up through the overnight. Thought I'd start off showing you the crude oil chart because nearby is down $18 a barrel right now. Took off right away last night when things opened. Huge bar here. I just wanted to show you this chart just because it's interesting when things like this happen. It's historic, doesn't happen very often. So obviously a huge move, big bar down. I mean, you do have this gap down here, below 70, where it's possible if this continues to go in this direction that's a place we could try to go back down to if the strait opens. And it seems like there's obviously a ton of stuff that's going to have to take place here, and this is a knee-jerk reaction based on headlines from overnight, and two sides are going to have to get along, and it sounds like there's going to be some talks held in Pakistan between the two sides, but long way to go here. But obviously, people were ready to jump at any of this news, and they got it last night. So we'll jump over and look at the impact of that on the grain market here. Other outside markets are pretty wild too. I mean, gold's up a ton, silver's up again a ton. Obviously all the months of crude are down hard. Stock market loves this, up 1,200 points in the overnight. So just a lot of outside forces today that will continue for a while here as people wait every day to see if there's good news or bad news coming out of these talks once they get started. So let's jump into what happened with corn right on the open last night. Big gap lower. Shouldn't say big gap, but a gap nonetheless. Low 477 and a quarter yesterday, high of 476 and a quarter. So a penny gap that we have not yet filled. Currently, we are down 5.5 versus Dees at 472 and a half. Won't surprise me at all if we just fill that gap right away. The 5 day now is going to be that area of resistance, which sits at 478 and 5/8 now. You also then have the 10 and 20 day sitting up around 482. As you can see, those two. Those will be areas that are going to be tough to get back through until we really find a low in this market. And like I've been saying, once you kind of start these downtrends this time of year, unless you get some outside news, which we have plenty of opportunities for that with this war going on and with crude doing what it's doing, but unless you get that, these down moves typically last into April, deep into April at least, if not into May, and more often into May than not. And then you have those chances for those significant weather rallies. So that's still what I would expect. We did already break through the 50%, like I had mentioned yesterday. After breaking this low, we went down in the overnight and hit the 100-day moving average, which sits at 470 a quarter, and we have bounced back off of that now. So we will see. Maybe this is what it needed to do. But again, support's going to be this low, 469 and a half. I would still guess you've got lower to come. Maybe you get a little bounce in here for the next couple days after this news, but then I would guess you're going to restart this downtrend and at least get down to this 465, 62% retracement mark, which will be the next level. You have broken that 50 level on the RSI. Possible for that now to go to oversold. All right, jumping into soybeans. This one's really interesting overnight. Crude's still down, so it's not like crude has rebounded here, but soybeans immediately started to come off their lows last night after the gap lower. They've already filled their gap. They're trying to get up to the 5 day average. Currently, they're down 1 at 1150 versus November. Just really crazy action with crude still being lower. It just there's somebody there that really wants to buy these things to be long, but especially after I told you yesterday. I mean, this was such a long time of sideways action. You would have expected that any breakout one way or the other would have had plenty of follow through, and so not seeing that last night after having that push lower is just kind of wild. So we'll see how that wants to react once the opening session comes in and all the major players are there, whether they jump back on this and start to resell it again after breaking through some of those levels. So you're just going to have to be careful here. I mean, this is I would say if you do get back below the 20-day 1146 and 7/8, if you're trying to figure out if you need to sell, or this swing low again, 1140, what I've mentioned the last couple weeks, you better be ready to take action if you're trying to figure out what you need to do here. Hard to wait for this low, 1135 of the overnight. And again, first support is going to be the 38% retracement, 1129 and an eighth, and then on down to the 50% at 1114 and 7/8. All of this versus the November board. So yeah, just really wild action. Not much to look at on the RSI. Haven't gotten back to the halfway mark on that yet, or the 50 mark on that. So nothing down here, stochastics. So you're just going to have to really pay attention to price action. Know that we have already triggered the bearish move by taking out this low. We are getting some resurgence. So you can look at that one of two ways: one last opportunity, or just a really strong market that doesn't want to go much lower than this. I'd still look at it as one last opportunity. Some of that's coming because of the seasonality of this. Some of that's coming because of some of the longer term charts and just where support and resistance are. Here's the weekly chart. This just looks like it's setting up to work its way lower down into this trend line. I don't know if that's going to happen until we get past summer, so that's what gives me a little bit of reservation. But still got to lean a little bearish just because of the time of the year and the fact that really the fundamentals just aren't in our favor overall. So, okay, I've gone on a little too long there. Just a lot going on today, but we will watch price action and just know that things have kind of flipped onto the bearish side if this news stays this way and these talks continue to go well, which I'm sure there's going to be some bumps in the road. All right, everybody have a great day.